say, hey everybody, welcome back to Sorare First Pitch. I'm Alex Hooper. I've been busy. I've been gone for a while, getting NBA up and running, working on the spreadsheet, working on the Patreon, dealing with all the holes in the spreadsheet when they popped up. It's been a work in progress, been busy, haven't been able to get you any free content in a while, but I am back with your 5 to buy, your starting 5 for the upcoming game week 4. And hopefully we can look forward a little bit to the weekend game week 5. Again, going to have to do a little bit of housekeeping. I know we have some giveaways to keep up on. MLB's wrapping up, so we're going to touch on that when the World Series ends. So again, just bear with me. We're catching up a little bit. Things got crazy with the release of NBA, and we're actually here to talk about NBA, and we'll talk MLB a little bit in the future. All right, so what I wanted to do, fairly simple, give you 5 players to look for on value for the upcoming game week. I'm just now having an idea about how I can kind of change this format in the future because I think all 5 guys we're going to look at right now are currently in the 20s range. So these are all players. I think you could play all 5 legitimately in contender and have a pretty solid shot to win. I think they would all fit technically under the points cap. So let's get into it. Got a little bit of a new setup here. All right, you're going to see a lot of me for a second. Here we are, the infinite window. All right, let's start with number 5. Scud Farkas himself, Gordon Hayward, in that haircut. Yikes. 22 L10 right here, as you can see. That's what's going to count against your cap. And we have it projected for 31.33 points. You can see his price graph here, kind of up and down. We like them there in the middle. Take a look at his game scores and how they might trend forward. Obviously, he missed a bunch of time at the end of last season. Gordon Hayward's missed a lot of time with injuries over the years. Had some horrible, horrible injuries. But you can see kind of his peak here, these 54s. If we go back to January 12th, let's do that really quick and kind of look at what a ceiling game for him looks like. 36 minutes, so that's normal. 30 points, 10 assists, 9 steals. That's insane. All right, that's an outlier. Let's not look too hard at that. 6 steals. All right, so when the man gets steals, all right, here we go. 41 points. He can do that. 31 points, 10 assists, 3 blocks, 3 steals. So, yeah, he's a stat sheet stuffer. He's a guy who does a lot of things, a lot of little things. But, again, just some low minutes affairs here trying to work through injuries. So that's why his L10 is a little suppressed at this exact moment. But you can see here he's getting back into the groove. A 42 early in the season, 32, 33. Here's his games so far this year. The minutes are solid. They can get up near 40 in a game if he has to. He's taking plenty of shots. And then you see the steals and blocks, not quite what they have been. The turnovers are up a little bit, so that's suppressing his game score a little bit. You hope these come down. You don't want negative 10s because of turnovers. That's always going to hurt. So hopefully he gets a little more efficient. The assist numbers are down. We expect him to kind of pick that up. Just over the years, looking how his year so far is comparing, his usage rate is, up as high as it's been since he was, an all-star in Utah. So that's good to see. They still consider Gordon Hayward a key piece of the puzzle in Charlotte, as they probably should. So if he keeps getting this usage percentage, then you can expect the shots to keep coming, the assists to keep coming, and then hopefully, see, this turnover percentage is 16%. That's a career high dating back to his rookie year. So you would expect that to regress towards the mean. Unfortunately, the way things work with Sorare NBA, you're going to get Gordon Hayward now, and that slow regression towards the mean on, turnover percentage happens, again, slowly, but his other numbers start to peak up. He's going to run that game score up a little bit, and then he might not be as useful. So keep an eye on that. Hard to really predict turnovers, but if the usage percentage is high, as he kind of knocks the rust off, gets used to his teammates, gets used to the lineups, those should go down. So if you want to sneak him into a game week this week, Let's see, how many games Gordon have in the midweek? He's got 2, so he's got 2 opportunities. A couple more guys we're going to talk about with 2 opportunities. And, so number 1 is Gordon Hayward. All right, moving on. Lonnie Walker for those Lakers. Oh, boy. Rough go in LA. Not exactly showtime. Another 22 L10 for Walker, same as Hayward. 32.33, so projected just a little higher than Gordon Hayward. Again, sort of a similar price chart. Look at some scores. So Lonnie's L10 is probably going to go down. 13, he had a 38, 22, 22, 19. So, his L10, other than this 40 and this 38, should start to dip. So, actually, it might be a good time to buy him because you might get multiple game weeks of utility just based on some of these game scores we're looking at. That said, he might bounce around. Only 24 minutes against the Timberwolves, but 30 minutes, 32, 36, and you kind of see the correlations with the score to minute. Like, obviously, if you play longer, you should have a higher score. But here are his games so far this year. That 24, really just an outlier. Keep an eye on that. Let's look at his prices really quick, because this is what you have to consider. So, you're paying sub, 0.009 even to get him. If you're looking at USD, you're paying like $15 for him. So if that's not a risk you want to take for, a guy who played 36, 32, 30, 24, those minutes are coming down, but per 100 possessions, he's shooting the same amount basically. Everything's kind of holding strong for Lonnie Walker. Usage percentage down a little bit in LA compared to last year and San Antonio, but they let him walk. Right? They didn't trade him. Yeah. So buyer beware maybe on Lonnie Walker, but you're going to get some regression. So if say he plays more minutes tonight, Sunday, for the Lakers, and that L10, it's already locked at 22, but if he plays more minutes and has an okay game in that 22 range, or maybe he just has another bad game, you can count on that L10 to come down. And then if he's still playing minutes and he has a bad game, the L10 is going to go down, but the projection should stay around the same, maybe drop a little bit because of recent history. But he's still projected well, and as long as he's still getting minutes with the Lakers, he should get his opportunities. And if the L10 comes down, you just get more value out of that. All right, so speaking of value, here's someone who doesn't have any because he is ticking up in price quite a bit. He's coming down a little bit. L10 of 14, but Bol is still projected for 32 points this week. So, the same projection as Lonnie Walker and Gordon Hayward, but for 8 less L10. So if you need someone to sneak in, you can go grab Bol. His price is much higher. This is, 4 times Lonnie Walker's price? $59? Yeah, so you're looking at about 4 times his price in USD and in ETH. Bol is a guy whose role has grown in Orlando. Let's look at his game scores really quick. A whole lot of nothing. When he was with, who was he with? He had been with Orlando this whole time. Denver? Yeah. Denver last year. So you see them start to peak up a little bit. 34 at his peak. If you can get a 34 out of a 14 L10, that's a nice, 2.2x. But so the minutes are there. He's starting now. So the minutes were up against the Hornets. That was Friday, so that's encouraging. And here's kind of, you see the minutes start to tick up. He went from 17 to 11 to 14. And then all of a sudden up 20, 21, 26. Orlando playing with their rotations a little bit. All of a sudden Mo Bamba getting some run, which threw a lot of people off, myself included. But he's taking shots, making them at a high efficiency, still rebounding well, getting a ton of blocks, which if if you want anything in this game, it's blocks, and you can count on 7'2", 7'2" Bull to get a couple of blocks here and there. Advanced stats, I mean, look at that. The 11.4 block percentage, probably going to regress to the mean a little bit, but he's capable of going off. And if he just has a big block night and just a normal offensive night, he's going to 2x, 2.5x. And that's what you're looking for out of your value players, especially in Contender. Let's look at his minutes per game really quick. Where are we at? Yeah, so 18 minutes per game. He's way up from where he was. So if you want to catch lightning in a bottle, you can still get a little help out of Bull this week. Going forward, though, don't expect a huge return on your investment. Okay, because that L10's going up, and people are going to start bailing. The people who bought him are going to be like, all right, time to sell, and then it's just going to drop. So that's how this game is going to work. Short-term fixes might not be great, but these are guys, like if you need one spot to fill and you want to go out and capitalize and try to get a high upside, this is where you go for it. Bull he's got 2 midweek games. So another guy like Hayward, who you can go out and he gets 2 cracks at it. So, again, that's also 2 opportunities to tank his L10 or push it up. All right, number 4, Cameron Johnson. Just kind of a strong hold. He was injured to start the year, 19 L10. We have got him projected for 31.13. Scores, kind of in the same range. He can pop off for a 50, but he had a bad run in the playoffs. I don't even know if this counts. Does this count the playoffs? May 15th? That's got to be the playoffs. All right. So, yeah, he's had a kind of a rough run, but you see, when he's getting good time, he's up in the 36 to, the 47 range normally. So, minutes are stable, yeah, kind of ticking up a little bit as he comes back from injury. He's very efficient. He's a solid player. He's starting, I believe, at this point pretty consistently. Yeah, so here are the playoff numbers. If you look, not a lot of shots, not hitting them terribly consistently. If you just kind of look at these overall, you can kind of see why his scores might be suppressed. Getting more shots early in the season, scoring nicely, steals, blocks, all that, and doesn't turn the ball over much, knows who he is, doesn't try to do too much with the ball. Per 100 possessions, you can see so far his field goal attempts are up. That is encouraging. Taking more 2s. Rebounds holding the same. Assists are up. Steals are up. Blocks are as good as they have been, and the turnovers are still pretty low. Usage percentage holding strong, still a career high. Barely. Assist percentage, career high. Steal percentage, career high. Block percentage, career high. Turnover percentage, career low. So a nice start to the season, and he's got that suppressed L10. He's playing within himself like we talked about, and that's what you love to see. Per game, minutes as high as they've ever been. So that's encouraging, very encouraging. And this is a guy I like as a whole. I think the more opportunities he gets, the longer term. He's just very efficient, so he should be able to at least 1x his L10 pretty consistently. But of course, the higher and higher that ticks, the harder that is to do. All right, my favorite play of the week, Max Strus from Miami. United States, huh? I was expecting him to be German because I know it is pronounced Strus. 21 L10. So again, all these guys kind of in the same range. But Max Strus, we have projected for 37.4 points. That's way above the rest of them. And look at that price. I got him for below that price. Currently around there is rare about 0.06. How much you got to pay for this rare? Probably going to be a little harder. Yeah, you can't just go out and buy them for that cheap. But if you look at these, these prices are dipping. So if you see this soon, try and get one of these auctions. That's a fantastic bargain. If you're not worried about price, then don't worry about it at all. Look at these scores. 33, 40, 35, 29, 24. He's kind of all over the place. Hasn't had a huge ceiling game. Let's look at that December 17th. What does his ceiling look like, and can he get there? 33 minutes off the bench, 8 threes, 7 rebounds. Yeah, I realized that with Gordon Hayward, I was looking at his points, so he probably wasn't putting up 9 steals. He was putting up 3 steals and getting 9 points for it. But so that's much more attainable. We like Gordon Hayward more for that reason. It's 32 points on 8 threes. That's just something this guy can do, and I think it's more likely to happen. I mean, look at the increase in minutes per game. His 3-point attempts are up. He's still hitting at the same rate. That should go up. His 2-point attempts are higher. Way more rebounds in that opportunity. He's blocking the ball well, stuff like that. So that's very encouraging. Minutes holding strong, but 34 minutes last night, Saturday night. 15 attempts, and he only hit 4, so your L10 is not going to go up. But again, this is the kind of stuff that you're looking for. He's taking a bunch of shots, and if he doesn't hit them, it's not going to help you if you have him. It just might push his L10 down, or suppress it, keep it from growing too much. If you don't have him, it's going to make it more of a buy opportunity. So he takes 11 threes in a game, and a 6-point loss. That means they were leaning on him quite a bit. So. The points sometimes don't go over 20, but you don't need that a ton with a guy who gets 9 rebounds and a couple of blocks here. And if he's just launching threes, he makes 2 more of those, 5 for 11. He's still under 50%, and that's an extra, 8 points? What did he score? What was that game score? Yeah, then you're looking at a 42. That's towards his cap. So, that's kind of the norm for him right now, and you can get him for quite cheap. Okay. Those are my 5 to buy. Let me really quickly, I didn't prepare for this, but let's find some lower level L10 so they're not all in that same area. I love George Hill still. He had an L10 of 9. He's down to 8 now. We got him projected around 20 points, getting big minutes for the Bucks. Big minutes for the Bucks. Aaron Neesmith, kind of in that same area. He's at 9 L10. Grayson Allen, 14. We're looking at about 24. Who we got? Any other big-time bargains? Javonte Green looking like 18 points on a 13 L10. That's all right. Terry Rozier. I know he sat Friday. He's a 37, but getting some big-time volume. I'm going to look at just off camera here, what has happened with him as to why he is projecting so well. Minutes are the same, taking a ton of shots, scoring, not exactly efficiently, but this has got to be a super high usage percentage thing. Just looking at, his assists are almost double. So he might be the guy in Charlotte with Lonzo Ball out. That's actually what it is. Per 36 numbers are through the roof. Per 100 possessions, through the roof. What's his usage? Yeah, his usage has gone up from 23% to 33%. So Terry Rozier is the guy until LaMelo Ball. I don't know if I said Lonzo or LiAngelo. Until LaMelo Ball is back, Terry Rozier is going to outperform his 37. Sorry, you're just looking at my ugly mug right now. I don't expect his price to go up. Yeah, so he's been hurt. That's the thing. He hasn't even played since the 21st. So that explains the huge uptick. But if he comes back, that might be nice. You're looking at 66 out of a 37. Game time decision, it looks like. That's the nice thing about Sorare data currently is, will not play Saturday. Unlikely to play Saturday. I already listed as doubtful, downgrade. Isn't surprising. Look for Dennis Smith. Yeah, that's going to be the number 1 guy. And then, that's going to continue to keep Gordon Hayward going. So, those are the 2 guys that benefit. God, you can get Terry Rozier for real cheap. He's a really nice number 2 in champion, stuff like that. But again, he's got to play. So, all right. Any other big money guys? Let's look at some lower L10s that produce quite like some of the GOATs. And then we'll get out of here. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's a guy who's popping. That's a low sample size, so I don't want you to bank on him. Kevin Durant's becoming playable because his L10 is going down, but his projections are kind of going down with it because he's not performing. Joel Embiid is one of those guys who has been a great play early. His L10 is going up. He's about to have a 60 drop off of his L10. So he's a guy you can still play. It might be a good time to buy him. His price is down for sure. And should drop a little bit. Desmond Bane, kind of a buyer beware. Cade Cunningham, Jared Allen, both 33s. Jared Allen just doesn't have the upside. Cade Cunningham does. He's not a bad buy with a 33 L10. Tyrese Maxey, if he continues the way that he's scoring. OG Anunoby, that's the other one at 28. And then, I know I've rattled off quite a few names here, but yeah, those are just some of the guys to consider. Just make sure you're double checking. Are they getting the shots? Are they getting the usage? Are they getting the minutes? Things like that. And are they playing? Are they healthy? And then that's how you identify more guys. But that's my 5. You got maybe 10, 12, and hopefully that'll help you up the line. Again, we got some catching up to do. I know I got some giveaways. Hopefully I'll have that planned for later in the week when the World Series wraps up, and then maybe do something either Thursday on the grind with Keith or Friday as kind of a pre-NBA lock, MLB wrap sort of thing. So hopefully we can catch up on that. Subscribe, all of that if you can. Very helpful. And Patreon's growing, man. Very, very humbled by the amount of people coming over. Some of the GOATs coming over too. Some of the people that I look up to, just on the leaderboards especially. Guys like Matsuyama, who's been such a great help in the J League Discord with all the news. One of the best guys around. And Trippin' B and Surface and Kaiser and so many awesome people. So I'm very humbled. Very cool to have that community. And you can come join patreon.com/Sorare FP. $5 for the projections, $10 for the projections and the pricing and the Discord, all that stuff. We got news in there. We got it all. Very fun. Having a good time. So, all right, that's it. That's it for me. We'll talk to you at least on Thursday with Keith and hopefully going from there. And good luck this week in NBA. See ya.